So this is Breeze. This is the Mustang that came in for me to start, which she was actually pretty nice handled before she came here. They had been on her back in the round pen. We're moving on with her. I'm gonna get on her in a minute, but this will be the first time that I've saddled her in the cross ties since she's been here. I always start with young horses, saddle them out in the arena, which is how you saw me saddle her. But as the horse kind of starts to understand the program, what's happening, then I'll start saddling here in the wash rack. I don't start here because there's things here that the horse would be afraid of. And then I'm saddling, which the horse could possibly be afraid of. So I don't try to do all of that at one time. If the horse is afraid of the wall back there, I'm not going to try to saddle in here. But when the horse is more comfortable with the saddle, then I'll make sure she's okay in the wash rack. So now I'm giving a little bit of a brush. I'm not going to pick her feet up today because I don't want to put her off balance or anything while she's on the cross ties. This is the first time she's been in cross ties since she's been here. So I'm not going to do anything like pick her feet up to make her move that would put her against the cross ties and make her panic about being tied. Set her up for success. Now I do have my cross ties tied with hay string on both ends. So if she were to pull back, the hay string would break, then we wouldn't have a serious wreck. All of my cross ties in the barn, you always see the ones hanging down the middle of the aisle. They're all tied up there with hay string. Grab my saddle for her. Throw the saddle up there from the left this time. Started off primarily doing it on the right. Typically, with young horses, I throw it up on the right. Got to make sure they're okay with it coming up from the left too. I don't tie on any of my off billets so that I can move them around, change them. It's just how I do things. I needed a little bit higher hole than what was in the other off billet that normally stays on this saddle. So I had to grab that off billet. So the reason I normally, with young horses, always throw the saddle up from the right is because then I only have to walk in front of them one time. Throw the saddle up from that side, drop the girth down, walk over here, cinch the saddle up. When I'm working with a green horse and need to get it done, I talked about in the video when I was saddling Sabre, I got to point, I got to get it done, you commit. I don't want to have to walk back and forth at that point. Now this horse is in the wash rack, she's standing tied. I want her to learn to stand tied. I'm okay with walking back and forth now, so now we'll throw the saddle up from the left. Not going to get it real tight, I'm just going to get it just tight enough so the saddle doesn't just fall off. I suspect that she has been tied before, just from all the other work that I could tell was done with her before. I would be surprised if they hadn't tied her. Let's go grab a bridle and some reins. I'm going to bridle her in here and then we'll walk out. I'd really like to just step up on her, but I'm going to make that decision when we get out there, whether I just step up on her or if I do a little bit of groundwork with her first. I want all horses, she's been bridling really good. I want all of my horses, the green ones that I'm starting, so you just walk out there and you get on and right off. I don't want to have to lunge a horse in order to get on it. Tighten the saddle another hole or two. And if you don't start getting on pretty quick, you're not going to get there. But you got to do your homework, make sure the horse is ready for that too. All right, so let's walk out here and see what we can get done. So my son-in-law, Robert, always puts the first few rides on every pretty green horse that comes in here, which I really appreciate. Helps keep me safe. And he's a really good rider and can stick to anything. And he's put several rides on this horse. I've been on her. He's put more rides on her than I have. She has been really good. She hasn't offered to buck yet, but notice I said yet. Now let's talk about what I just did. I didn't lunge her, didn't get her energy up. We just walked around here and changed directions. Walk over here, walk over there. And in the process, she's aware of what's going on. She's not gonna miss anything, but I'm getting her mind on me. I didn't just walk out here, climb up the step and just get on, but I also didn't lunge her down either. I really don't believe in lunging a horse down to do anything. For one thing, you can't do that to all horses. And you need to be able to get the horse's mind on you and get on without lunging the horse down. Let's go grab my reins. I think I'm gonna step up on the step and pedal on her a few times and let's see what happens. We're still attaching the reins to the halter. She's a little bit resistant in her face. We'd like to get that better before we start pulling on the bit. But she's going to tell us when it's time to swap. There's a balance there because if I swap to the bit too early, then I'm going to start pulling on her mouth before she really understands pull and release. But if I stay on the halter too long, she's going to start lugging on my hands and she's going to be more like, well, I'm not going to put the effort into it, you just pull me around. So there's a balance there, when to swap to the bit, when to stay on the halter. Now there's a lot of people out there that'll ride in a halter forever. I don't believe in that. I won't do it. You can go back and ride in a halter some, but it creates some issues too. As I always say, if you don't treat them like a broke horse, they're never going to become a broke horse. I'm not going to take any special pains moving that block around. See if she stands. But the other part of that is, I'm going to move the block around to her. I don't believe at this point, she's out there looking at Saber. He's been out there all day today and everybody wants to look at him. I guess the horses think he's pretty too. But anyways, I'm not going to get into a fight with the horse to make her stand at the mounting block, to make her walk up and park at the mounting block, wherever that mounting block is at this point. Later, yes. If she's worried about being ridden, worried about me getting on, she's going to be worried about standing by the mounting block. So the mounting block is just if she don't want to stand by it, is an indication of stress about being ridden. I'm not going to force her to stand. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work on that stress about being ridden by riding her. And usually that stress goes away. Stand still. Now I'm going to keep her head around. We're going to go in a few circles. I'd like for her to go forward here. She's just trying to smell my shoe. Come on. There we go. I talk about doing circles when I first get on. Young horses, old horses, don't matter. I'm going to always do a few circles each way until that horse starts to relax. Until that horse starts to relax, and it's okay with me directing direction. That gets the horse's mind on me. There we go. Kind of pulling on my hand a little bit, but she's walking out pretty good. That gets the horse's mind on me and sets us up for a productive ride. Looks like Mouse and that steer right there is having a stare standoff. I think Mouse won. Still have her head to the side. She's working her way over to Mouse. Let's move. Move your feet. Asking her to move her feet is just as important as everything else. I need her to move her feet because I said move your feet. That is what her mind needs. Her mind needs to be okay with me telling her what to do. The mind is okay with me telling her what to do. Everything else is going to be okay. It was kind of funny. We were recording, or I don't remember if we were in the middle of recording or moving horses or what this morning. And she was out there next to the cows, and one of the cows got a little close to her hay. And she was trying to kick at it and push it away from her hay. So she is definitely not afraid of cows. Get a little further along with her. And we're going to probably push some cows around and see how she does. Let's see what we got for a stop. Whoa. There we go. Now let's go the other way. This way. There we go. Now, even though I'm holding her head to the side, I'm not holding constant pressure. When she pulls on me, I'll give her a little pull, and then I'll give her a release. Same time I'm giving her a pull, I'm giving her a little push with my leg, asking her to soften to that side. That's how you build your softness. You're not going to build softness in just the pull. You build softness in releasing and adding a little bit of lag on that side. That's how you get a horse soft. We're not going to visit Bug. Bug don't really look like she wants to go see you either. There we go. Now let's walk off a little bit. We'll walk a few steps. And then we're going to change direction. She's wanting to go left. We're going to go right. Give me your head. Get soft. Go forward. She wants to go to Bug. Give me your head. That cow wants to touch Mouse really bad. Don't know why. Kind of funny. There we go. She was a little softer with my hand that time. Let's work our way over to the wall so we can start turning into the wall. She needs a better stop. Come on. Need a little better whoa too. Or a better go. And a little better whoa. There we go. Now let's go somewhere. This is Pretty good-minded horse. She don't really seem like she wants to buck. Just needs to be a little more willing to do what she's asked to do. Wants to go to those horses. Let's go this way. Go over here. There we go. All right, I believe I'm going to take her out of here. Let's see if she'll let me open this gate over here. I noticed when I went and got her, I think I opened her gate towards us, and she worried a little bit. So I'm going to open this gate and push it away if she'll let me. You gonna let me open this gate? Well, I could reach it before you bent. Not quite. Turn you a little bit. Let's get a little closer. There we go. She knows it's a gate. She knows that's to open it. This is a smart horse. Don't want to rush through. Bet you if she got close enough, she'd push that gate with her head. Let's get up there. Let me open the gate. I'm asking for a lot of little things here. She's getting a little bit frustrated, but she's got to learn that patience. Go. Alright, let's see what happens. Right away started off with a pretty forward walk. I have this electric tape out here. It is hot and don't have too much wind. It's not blowing too bad. This is her first ride out of that covered arena. So I'm going to turn around and walk back a little bit. Let's see what she does. I don't know if she's going to try to rush back. I need to make sure I've got some steering. I would turn to the right there, but we don't have much room. Turn to the left. I'm going to turn to the right again. Turn to the right. Turn to the right. There we go. I want to make sure she's going to let me steer her in a more open space, which this isn't particularly open. Closed in on two sides, kind of open on two sides. She just saw the bridge right there in front of us. I don't know how that's going to go, but we're going to find out together. Again, I'm going to change directions. I don't know if we're going to tackle that or not today. We might not. I am not one that says there's a bridge, we're going to conquer that today. We rode out of that arena today. We've accomplished a lot. I'm not going to get into a fight right here. I'll let her poop. Not going to get into a fight right here with her on that bridge. But let's see what happens. I'll talk about what I feel, what she does, and I'll tell you why I do what I do. I'm thinking I might get off and lead her across. She has never been out back here. I've never turned her out back here. She's never been back here. Everything back here, this is the first time she has seen it. Give her just a second to take it in. If you've seen my video on spooky horses, I rarely let a horse stand and look at something that they're afraid of. I want them to move their feet. But with her being just under saddle, Don't really trust the rider yet. I'll let her stand a little bit. I'm gonna step off and see if she'll walk across there. There's more cows in that pen. You're gonna have to stand. Let me off. All right, let's see if she'll walk across that. And I don't really care if she leads across it and leads back a couple times. I don't necessarily have to ride her across it today. Come on. Come on. There we go. She's interested. Kind of similar to loading on a trailer. Not really going to pull her on here, but I'm going to discourage going backwards. She's worried about the bridge. She's worried about the cows right there. There's a lot here to be concerned about. I'm not going to fault her for having for wanting to survive, not putting herself in a bad situation. I would like her to come on to me because I asked her to come to me. But she is a Mustang. They have a strong survival instinct. I'm gonna let her work through that. See her snorting at it? That's pretty typical. I think she's gonna go over it here in a minute. Put that, there you go. I asked her to move her foot. I didn't ask her to move just forward. I asked for a little bit of sideways. One of the cows coming to check out what's going on. That red cow with horns there is the mama to the gray cow with horns that's in the other herd. She's thinking about it. I'll step this way a little bit. There we go. Move your feet. Look at that side. All right. Step this way a little bit. There we go. Good girl. Look at there. Let's see if she'll stand here. I'm gonna pet on her. Good girl. And see how I didn't do anything to force her. I didn't make it a bad thing. Didn't do anything about this to make this a negative experience. Now she's chewing. She's realizing it's not gonna hurt her. She wasn't really trying to say no. All she was trying to do was say, I'm worried. I don't know that I can do this. Typical Mustang survival instinct. Let's go on and walk across. Good girl. Now let's see if we can go back. Normally coming back is a little easier because they know the barn is there. Look at there. Let's try it one more time. And do it again. Good girl. Smart horse. So this is Breeze. I'll put a link up here to other videos and on YouTube so you can watch our playlist. And I'll bet you by the next video we're riding back across off this bridge and riding in the pasture back there. Until next time, thank you for watching.